All right, we have David with Carolina Curb Appeals. David, thank you for being here.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, David. Yeah, so you are in Waxhaw. You're about 30 minutes from me. And I was going to ask if you could just tell us kind of what you do, what services you offer, and kind of how'd you even get in the cleaning industry?
Absolutely. So, yeah, we're located in Waxhaw, North Carolina. I've been doing this business for about 5 years now, 2 years full time. So what we do is we do pressure washing, gutter cleaning, window cleaning, landscape lighting, permanent lighting. In the Christmas season, we do Christmas lights. So I kind of do a plethora of things. So pretty much just cleaning and lighting. Um, Now, how I started this business and how I got into this, I was actually working in a factory, working night shift. And I was coming home. I laid down to kind of relax, unwind a little bit, and flip through YouTube. And I come across Jason Guyman, King of Pressure Washing. And it said, how to make $1,000 in a day.
Hmm.
All right, I'm
Yeah,
interested. Let's see what's going on here. So I talked to my wife and said, "Hey, we don't have a pressure washer. We need one, and I'm thinking about doing this business, but I don't want to do it as a business. I want to just kind of make a little bit of side money, a little gig, whatever." So she said, "All right." So I found this refurbished pressure washer on eBay, bought it. It was a 4 gallon minute machine, and I washed my house. I washed my parents' house. I washed my neighbor's house. I was like, "Crap, this ain't bad." And I was following John uh, Lane for a little bit, and he showed me a couple things on there, and I was like, okay, I can definitely do this as a business. So it kind of trans transformed into an actual business, no more a gig. So it kind of took off. I continued to do that for about 4 years on the side, and made the jump to become full time, which was 2 years ago. And honestly, I'm picking myself from behind every day because I'm that far behind on doing a full time business instead of just doing, uh, just kind of just running through the motions. But best decision I ever made. Becoming your own boss, it comes with a different stress, but it's
right.
more manageable stress because you control a lot of things, but there's other things that you can't control. So there's a give and take in there.
Yeah, no, definitely. And when you quit your job, as far as numbers wise, do you see a huge difference of sales from when you did it part-time versus now when you're full-time? Like, is it just a
Oh,
ridiculous
100%, man.
growth?
100%. So where I had when I first started the business, I didn't want to be the cheap guy. I didn't want to be the cheap guy, but I didn't want to be like the really expensive guy either. So I was like, okay, well, let me have a minimum. So I had a minimum of $200. And I was like, ain't nobody gonna pay $200 to come clean out their gutters or pressure wash or whatever. Ain't nobody gonna do that. And then people started calling and I started filling up my schedule. I was like, okay, so every day that I had off, or even if I didn't have it off, I'd get off work and go to work, go clean. And, you didn't, you weren't, I wasn't paying taxes at the time, one of those, just a little
Hmm.
gig. So I could eat costs a little bit better. So, but whenever I went full time, definitely the prices went up. Now we do premium pricing versus just trying to get the jobs. And I did notice a big jump in sales because whenever I did it, I had a newborn on the way, and so to me, um, going full time, I had this mindset that failure is not an option. Like I have to make this work. Um, I had, I had talks with God. I several times. I can tell you a couple specific conversations that I had with him. I was at work one day, and trying to figure out if this was the best fit for me or not. To quit my full time job with at this point I had a kid
Hmm.
and pursue this gig that I had. And what I did was I said, God, if this is the route that I need to take, if this is the road that I need to pursue, then please show me a sign. Like I need a clear sign here. I'm not joking when I say I had 10 calls that day. Had 10 calls back to back to back. So I was like, all right, I hear you. This is the kind of sign that I need. Like this is what it was. So moving moving on down the road a little bit, maybe I'd say probably another 6 months, just trying to confirm that this is what I need to do. I already had a plan of my exit strategy for the from the factory. And
Mhm.
I asked the question again, God, just please give me another sign. I need some to make sure that I'm doing the right thing. And I had, I think, of another 6 or 7 calls that day, back to
Jeez.
back to back. So I was like, I've got to make like this. This has got to be something. Whether it is to be a pressure washing business, or it is to reach somebody, or somebody along meet somebody along the way. I had a purpose. God had a purpose for me to come out and do pressure washing itself, or just at least start this business, or maybe just get away from that factory itself.
Oh, that is awesome. And I think like what I tell everyone, and something I talk about, that I really feel like social media like projects. I don't want just any business, right? I mean, we always talk about home service business, but just any business, right? How to make how to make $100,000 in 2 months, 3 months, and no one talks about the struggles and the mental toughness it takes to be a business owner. Because
Absolutely.
I've had, I've been in the military, I've done education, I've done corporate, and and running Cleaning Bee Pro by far is 10 times harder than I've ever done in my life. Like, I don't, it's
100%.
like, and that's something I just want people to understand. Like, yes, it's great. You're your own boss, you can make your own schedule. But at the end of the day, your clients are still your boss, right? Like, technically, you want to make them happy, right? So it's like, yes, there's pros and cons to both. And I just always like to tell people, like, it's like people don't see probably all the hours you put into just to get those jobs or just to build that clientele.
Absolutely.
Because it's not like you just wake up, oh, Carolina Curb Pills, we got 6 jobs a day, Monday through Friday. That's not how it works.
No, because you don't see the hours that you go out at 9, 10 o'clock at night, and you're putting out 50 signs all over the area, or you're putting out 100 signs, or you take the weekends off, and you want to make sure your signs are out. You're putting out door knockers, you're knocking on doors, you're putting out magnets, putting out cards. They don't see that. They don't see the sweat equity that you've done or that you're doing,
Mhm.
because they just see that the pictures of the jobs that you're doing, or maybe they've heard about that you make a lot of money, or they think you're a big company, and really, honestly, it's not. It's just me and another guy.
Mhm.
We're not a big company, but we make our we make our self noticed in the community. And it's not always about getting money, getting that next job, because you want to get back to the community too. It's not all about that. So, Facebook has been a great thing for us, word of mouth, and just being on those neighborhood pages. If somebody asks, hey, who's anybody recommend pressure washing, window cleaning, whatever the case may be, you know, we're recommended a lot. However, if we see something that maybe we know, I like to network with other companies. It doesn't have to be a different trade.
Mhm.
You and I are in the same area. I'll send you jobs, or I'll send you leads or something, because just because I do the same thing doesn't mean we can't build up others around us, because there's going to come a time where we could all benefit from having. I don't know, maybe I can't get to a job, or maybe my equipment breaks down, but hey, I need to get this job done. I need to keep the
Right.
customer happy. Hey, Daniel, can you go out there and take care of it? You never know what's going to happen. But we like to network with a lot of people. So I got roofers, I've got handymen, I've got people that build decks. So we like to recommend those on those pages too. So it's not just, hey, we're going to stay on top of
Yeah.
Facebook and get all these leads that come in, but you also got to give back to other people too.
Oh yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
but there's
Absolutely.
a lot that goes into having a business too, just
Yeah.
getting out there, getting your name out there. It just doesn't happen like that.
Right. What would you say? Because, like, I'll be honest, like, for us, it's all paid ads, right? Like, I would love to just be like, and referrals, of course, is, we get, but, like, yard signs, door hangers, I've done that a lot and honestly haven't really got anything from it. The best has been Google and Facebook ads. Like I wish I could be like, oh, I just stuck a sign out, on maybe the highway or some community and I'll I've put thousands of yard signs. I've gotten maybe two jobs from it. Maybe and they were tiny little jobs. Like um
Man, I'm telling you, it's like this. Okay, so you've got to know your customer, okay? You have a minimum. You got to know where your customer shops. Do they go to Walmart to get their groceries, or do they go to Publix? Do they shop at Kohl's, or do they shop at Macy's? You've
mhm,
got to know where they shop at, what they do, who's your targeting customer. Okay, so if you're going to target that kind of customer, that's where your signs need to be. You can't go out on a Monday and put signs out because in some places, because they're going to come, the
take care.
city or the
Yeah.
town's going to come by and they're going to pick up those signs.
Yeah.
So the best time to put your signs out, Friday afternoon, Saturday. Don't go later than that because what you're going to do is you're going to have all those people coming out on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, they're picked up.
Yeah.
So you not really in the high traffic areas, but in the area of where your customer is itself. That's what you want to do. And you can't just go put out 5, 10 signs. It's just not going to work that way.
Yeah,
You
you
need to
got.
put out maybe 50 signs a week. 50
Mhm.
signs uh, a week would be great, I mean that's
Yeah.
a good bit of signs, but signs are the biggest yield for me. And also the wording on there. You can't have all this busy stuff because the whole point of a sign is you're putting it at an intersection or in front of a neighborhood. How long do you have for that person to look? You may
Not long.
have 40 yards
Yeah.
across the intersection that they could see it. So if you have this little sign or that has a little words on there, well, they're not going to be able to see it unless they're right up on it. It's that old saying, KISS, keep it simple, stupid.
Mhm.
So what you want to do is, let's say, I'll tell you about my pressure washing sign. So we have industry terms. Uh, we call soft washing, right?
Mhm.
A lot of people don't know what that is. So you have to explain it to them. Some do, but those are industry terms. So what you would want to do is you want to do power washing, pressure washing, leave house washing out of it, leave concrete cleaning out of it. Nobody cares about that. Pressure washing, that's what people know. So whenever they call you, you can say, hey, yeah, we can start heading them down the soft washing route, or hey, we can do roofs, or we can do concrete, all going that way. But what you want to do is all you want is pressure washing. Below that, a call to action, just a number, your phone number. You don't even have to put your business on there. Sometimes I don't always do it, but sometimes I'll put uh my website,
Mhm.
carolinacurvingfields.com, or an email. And that way they can just reach out to me there. That's it. I don't want to put two or three different things that we do because that sign looks very, very busy. You don't want to have all these crazy colors. It's keeping it simple. And this is what works. I'm telling you.
Have
So I have some for landscape lighting too that do the same thing.
mhm. And that kind of brings me into landscape lighting, Christmas lights. Um, I've thought about adding Christmas lights. I've never done it before. How do you like landscape lighting and Christmas lights added to your business? Like, do you see a big difference for having it versus if you just did window cleaning, gutter cleaning, and pressure washing? Like, is there a major difference you could tell?
100%. I wasn't on the Christmas light train until last year.
Hmm.
So North Carolina, you know how it is. We have warm winters, we have warm falls.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. So we could technically get away with pressure washing every year.
Yeah.
We hadn't had a cold winter in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So last year, I felt back in October, my plan was to business as usual. We're going to
Yeah.
pressure wash, we're going to clean windows, we're going to clean gutters, we're going to do business as usual. But we had a cold snap, and I was like, like, no, this is not what we're going to have this year. We're going to have something cold. So we're not going to be able to pressure wash. So I had to adapt. Well, I went to a landscape lighting um, training class in Raleigh, North Carolina. And at the same time, they actually had landscape lighting and Christmas lights.
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to stay and do the Christmas lights as well. And honestly, I had my reserves for it. It's like, yeah, Christmas lights, who wants to do that? It sounds like crap. It sounds like it's not going to be profitable. But I thought a lot of the people in the class were there for landscape lighting, and that more of them were there for the Christmas lights. Like, okay, well, let me see what's about that this is about. So some of the guys that were there, they've been doing it for maybe 2, 3 years, and they say they literally made $100,000 in revenue in those uh from November to December.
Jeez.
I mean, you got to think you're only doing like half of the month of December at most. So they say, yeah, we literally make $100,000 in this time. It's like, okay, 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 okay. I'm here for landscape lighting. Got all the notes I got needed from
Yeah.
there. Implemented that into my business for
Mm-hmm.
2022. It was great. Landscape lighting does pay well with the jobs, but you can get good jobs with Christmas lights as well. And where we have, depending on what time of the year you're coming, if you're coming early, and we're probably going to start in October to start advertising. So we start at $7 a foot with 100-foot minimum. So that's $700 right there. And
That's
then it goes up. The closer you get to Christmas time, it goes up to 10 foot. So, and it's based off of the availability of our schedule, um, the material, and the time. What it takes to do all this. We are an all-inclusive Christmas light service. We can install anything from wreaths to garland to bows to we can light up your house, we can light up your landscape, we can light up the driveway, the bushes, whatever the case may be. We are an all-inclusive. All you have to do is point and tell us what you want, and we can make it happen. So that's the whole point of what we do. Everything is custom cut, custom fit, LED lights. They're not just something you're going to get from Lowe's, Home
yeah.
Depot. No, these are all commercial grade. And you cut them, you fit them, everything goes back to one receptacle, one timer, all in one. That's it. So
Hmm.
all you gotta do is just flip
Do
a button, that's it.
do you guys hold the lights for the client for the following year?
So we are there's two different models that you can go by.
Yeah,
We lease them. They are my lights.
correct.
They are custom fit to your house and your house alone. However, they are my lights. So if you choose to go back with us, the first year you are getting the full price
Mm-hmm.
of what it's going to cost to do everything.
Yeah.
But if you come back to us the next year, we're going to give you a 10% discount.
Mm.
Now we are using the same lights that we put on there, and you got to make sure you take them down and inspect it before you box them up for the year. We do not hang customer owned lights. I don't care if you just bought them from Lowe's. I don't care. I cannot sacrifice quality and I don't know if it's a brand new light that has a short in it. I know what these lights are because I have gone through them.
Right.
They are not all lights are the same. Not all light colors are the same. So I really wouldn't recommend putting somebody else's up. It's
Yeah,
just totally different, but it's definitely worth doing. It's definitely worth checking out.
because people I've talked to, they've kind of have been on the fence, like about, hey, let me, and it's been between landscape lighting versus Christmas light. If you had to pick one, let's say you could only choose one, which service would you choose and why?
Ooh, it's like a catch 22 because I've only done Christmas lights 1 year and now
How
I'm
did
sold
you,
on it.
how were your numbers the first year? Were they pretty good?
So I had so I had 16 jobs total.
Okay.
And so I was around 1,000 per, but I don't know the exact numbers. I was just making sure I had,
Yeah.
filling in the gaps there. But I didn't really market it like I needed to. I started in, I think, mid-November
Oh, okay.
for my first install, and then I was like, okay, well, I got to hurry up and get this out there. So I'm just trying to like market it real quick, and it caught on. Sending it to my past customers for pressure washing,
Mhm.
just trying to market
Yeah.
things, email it. But as of right now, I have, so that's 16 jobs, like we'll
That's
say
it.
$16,000.
Yeah.
Okay, just keep
Hmm.
things round because it was around that area.
Yeah.
I have made more during the year on landscape lighting.
Mm.
But if I were to have pushed the Christmas lights properly, I could have blown that out of the water because you got to think you're like 3 months versus 12 months.
Right. Right.
So of
That's
course you're going to make more in the landscape lighting, but if you can push Christmas lights, why not? Now, something that I'm doing for the Christmas light season and Christmas time, I'm pushing a package, which would be landscape lighting and permanent lighting, which is like kind of a form of Christmas lights, but it
mm.
just stays up year round. You can have um, 4th of July, Thanksgiving, Easter, Christmas, just because it's Tuesday and you want orange lights on your house, you can do that, with these permanent lighting. But my plan is to implement a package for landscape lighting and the permanent lighting together, and that way there you can both control the colors of the landscape lighting
Mm.
by an app, and the same app controls the permanent lighting around the house.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
So
For a lot of people that aren't, let's say, mechanically inclined, would you say Christmas lights is easier than landscape lighting? Because, I mean, yes,
oh yeah.
Christmas lights is all ladder work, but I guess with landscape lighting, would you have do you have to have more of a like electrical background, like electrician to do that properly? Because some people like that, listen to this, they're probably like, man, I just know how to go on ladders. Like I don't know how to do electrician stuff. Would you say lights are easier to do versus landscape lighting?
Well, me personally, I have a electrical background. Prior to working in a factory, I was an
Mhm.
electrician for 8 years. I didn't have the licensing, but I know what I'm doing pretty
Yeah.
much, enough to be dangerous.
Yeah.
But as far as, let's say, anybody can do the landscape lighting, anybody can do the Christmas lights. Okay, but you're talking about two different voltages.
Yeah.
Landscape lighting, you're at 12 volts. Okay, so you're plugging in a transformer into a receptacle, stepping down the voltage to 12 volts. That's your voltage for these lights.
Hmm.
For the Christmas lights, it is 120. It can hurt you,
Yeah.
it can kill you, but it's you're gonna have to keep things in mind, like, hey, you can't have the power on when you're doing this, you can't turn the power on when you're cutting it, you're gonna make mistakes, it happens. But it is easier to install Christmas lights than it is to install landscape lighting. I can do landscape lighting all day, I can do 20 lights in a day by myself and be done in 8 9 hours.
Hmm.
However, if I were to do Christmas lights, let's say I had I don't know, 400 foot to do. I did 400 foot last year, and it took me 3 hours to do. So that's, I mean,
That's
it's really got its give and take.
yeah.
But
I
then
mean,
again,
that's I mean, I'm doing the math here. I'm all about 400 times seven. I mean, that's a $2,800 job.
how about 400 times 10?
Oh, you
400 times 10. because the
Four,
closer you get to
four, oh
Christmas,
yeah, 4,000. I mean, that's in 3 hours, you said?
yes, sir.
That's, and then
Okay,
I
so you're
assume your, sorry, your profit margins. I I bet like the first year your profit margins will be less just because you gotta buy the lights, but then year two and on, that's all profit.
now if let's say the people don't come back.
Hmm.
Okay, they don't come back this year. There's no problem. Obviously, we're going to market to them. We're going to try to get them to come back. We're
Yeah.
going to give them 10% off. We got the lights stored. We got them. They're designed, labeled in our storage boxes, and they're in a controlled climate. So
Hmm.
we've got everything. This goes to this spot. This goes to this spot. This goes to this spot. But if they don't come back, okay, that's no problem. That's still no problem. There's going to be another job that comes along that, hey, I need a 30-foot strand of this color. Boom, got it. Okay, well, maybe you ran out of clips on another job to put on the house. Okay, this job has got it. Or maybe you ran out of bulbs or a
Yeah.
timer or whatever the case may be, you've got it right there. So even though they didn't come back, okay, well maybe they're going to come back the following year. I don't know, but
Yeah.
we cannot guarantee that we're going to have that same material. And the reason that you step up your price is because the demand. You're paying for availability, and if you really want to get down to it, I know a guy that's hanging Christmas lights in September,
Are
and he's
serious?
getting. I'm dead serious. Now he's in Raleigh. He does really good.
Are you talking about
And he does
Donovan?
$300,000 installs
Oh,
in Myrtle Beach.
oh,
You
okay.
know, he does great. So,
Jeez.
but you can pay early and it'll cost you less. So let's say it starts at $7 a foot, then the next month it goes $8, then it goes to $9 the next month, and it goes to $10 the next month because you're paying for the availability. Who's to say that your product's still not going to be in stock? I mean,
That's, yeah, that's I mean, and I assume
if nobody else
you're using a lot of 32-foot ladders for a lot of these jobs, correct? I assume.
really, sometimes I'll walk the house, I'll walk the roof, I'll use the little giant. I have used a tow behind articulating lift. You
Mm.
know, I have done that before. But a lot of times it's having the right stuff. Cougar paws. You know, I know you know what cougar
Oh
paws are.
yeah.
You've cleaned gutters.
Oh yeah. I actually just purchased them. They're on their way. I use Huck boots right now for
I use
roofs,
them too.
but
So I mean,
will
you can
I see
definitely
the
use those.
difference? Will I see the difference going from Huck to Cougar
Oh
Paws?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you this. So Huck was great. It did good, but they are rubber. Okay,
Correct.
so your feet, when you're on set, like kind of steep
Mhm.
roofs, your foot kind of felt like it was going forward,
Yep.
though it wasn't. It felt like it. So I switched to the Extra Tough Sports, and they have more of a sneaker bottom,
Mhm.
and they gripped a little bit better. However, they just didn't last long.
Yeah.
Now, the Cougar Paws that I have, I've had them since I first started. I just change out the pads,
Yeah.
and man, they are worthwhile having. You feel more secure up there. They hurt my feet sometimes, so I don't.
Yeah.
I try to wear them as less as I can, but you know, get the job done fast, take them off, put my shoes back on, so it doesn't hurt my feet. But um, for the Christmas lights, there's a tool called Pitch Hopper.
Oh yeah.
Now, what it does,
I've seen that. Yeah.
they're worth it.
They are.
They are worth it. So, and if you ever heard of the goat,
Yeah, I've heard of that too.
they're worth it for those super steep ones, you
Yeah.
know. But that's you'll use those a lot. If I can walk the roof 100%, boom, I'm popping those in the
Yeah.
shingles and going on about my way.
With
Uh,
with
but
with Cougar Paws, once you get down off the ladder, don't you have to swap shoes like right away because you could ruin the bottom or no?
you can. There's also some slip-ons that you can put on too
Mm,
that Cougar Paw sells that you
gotcha.
just slip on and it goes on the the sponge pad.
Oh, okay.
Typically, as soon as I got down, now if I wasn't done doing what I was doing, I made sure to go around mud, dirt,
Mhm.
stuff like that. But as soon as I got down, I made a trip to the truck. I changed my shoes out and put my regular shoes on before I clean everything out on for gutters. I clean everything out with a leaf blower if I can.
Yeah.
That's first and foremost. But once I get done, I get down, go to the truck, change my shoes, get my regular shoes on, and then I'll clean everything up from there. But you're supposed to change out your cougar paw pads, I think, after 15 hours of use.
Mm.
So I would recommend having a few extras on hand.
Gotcha.
Now,
Okay.
obviously, they're for roofers, right? So
Yeah.
they're going to get used more than what we do.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course.
But you can use the same. Be your best judge. Is
Yeah.
look at them, look and make sure that they're just not being torn to shreds. And if they are getting torn to shreds, change them out. It's not
Yeah.
worth you falling off that roof for something that's 35, $40.
Right. Yeah, the biggest thing, man, I need to get to. My little giant has it, the leveler, but my 24-foot and bigger ladders, they don't. And is like a lot of the houses we do are on hills, and it's like right now we've been putting like little wood to like make it stay, but it's not safe. So I'm like, I need to buy those levelers for the ladders, so then it's not so, like uneven.
And they're worth their weight in gold. They're worth their weight. I've got the little giant with the leveler on it,
I
and man, it is a crucial piece.
Yeah.
Crucial piece. Now, with the extension ladder, I got that. I've got the 20-foot leveler,
Hmm.
little giant, and then I have a 28-footer that I use most of the time from what the little giant can't reach.
Hmm.
And in the few instances that I need something a little bit taller, I've got a 32-foot. I don't like lugging that around
No.
I'll just kind of judge it on based on what job I have
Yeah.
that day. But
Yeah.
most of the time, it's going to be that 28-foot or the little giant. I don't even carry the 32-foot. But
Yeah,
whenever I know I got a house that I got to do it, I put it on.
I use the 24. That's like the go-to one. 32, I don't even own a 32-foot. Because like for gutters, if a house is that high, I'll use my gutter vac, the gutter machine.
Mm.
Which, there's pros and cons to it, right? A lot of the time you're like, man, I wish I could just be up there and just blow it off, right? Just it'd be so much quicker. So
Absolutely.
there's pros and cons to that for sure. And I know like with blowing like gutters, there's always people like, how could you blow? They're like, you're gonna cause a mess. And it depends on the job. I try like you, I always try to blow the gutters, but it depends. Like if it's super wet,
Absolutely.
you can't do that. Like the client's gonna be mad, like so when
Well,
it's
if I'm doing a house wash and a
Oh,
gutter
then
clean
yeah,
out and
that's
the
different.
leaves are
That's
wet,
different. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's
man,
different.
yeah,
But
I'm gonna blow them out.
yeah, but if you're just using gutter cleaning, like yesterday we had 4 gutter jobs, and it just rained, and it all the gutters were just nasty. We had to do everything by hand because it was just so
Yeah.
bad. But last one of the
And then
last
some jobs you have to make sure that you have, there's some jobs that you can't put stuff on the ground, even if you can
correct.
walk it and they're dry.
Yeah.
Depends on what neighborhood you're in. And there's nowhere to dump or to blow the debris. So you've
Yep.
got to hand pick it. There's no point throwing it
Yep.
on the ground and picking it up. So you've got to hand pick it at that point.
Oh, I know. I remember one of my first jobs, which I was just figuring out how to do this thing, and then the client came out was like, and I mean, we blew it, and it was a it was like old grass or whatever, like it was all being up, anyways. And she was complaining about that, she's like, I want you to hand pick everything. So now, let goes back to always giving the client the expectations, what's going to happen, and I always let
Absolutely.
them know
Setting
too.
expectations.
Exactly. And we have like I have 2 gutter packages, like we could pick up everything by hand, but it is a premium price because 90% of the time,
Absolutely.
if it's not wet and muddy, yeah, I'm gonna blow it. And then I'll just blow it to, to the natural point of whatever they're, yeah, whatever that may be. But kind of last question, and I do appreciate your time, David. Um, what would
Absolutely.
be your, for a new entrepreneur, or someone that's frustrated, their business is slow, what would be one tip to just kind of either motivate them or keep pushing?
Well, I mean, let's be honest, we all started from somewhere. We all started from the bottom. We didn't, somebody may think that you and I are big companies, but it took time to get here. What I would say is trust the process. If you think that you want to get into a service and not charge premium prices, why not? Why would you not want to start charging premium prices? Don't come in, let's say, like my minimum is $300. I charge premium prices. Why would you not want to come in charging those kind of prices instead of starting at $100? And you know what? Maybe I'll step it up to $200 and I'll step it up to $300. Why not? If these guys are already charging this price and are getting jobs, why would you not want to start charging prices at the same pricing? You can do it. Trust the process. And if they're looking to get into pressure washing, Christmas lights, I highly, highly, highly recommend them looking at Jason Guyman with the King of Pressure Washing on YouTube. He's got a YouTube channel, he's got a Christmas light channel, and he really focuses on premium pricing for premium certs. And he grew his business to $1 million and he sold it. So now what he does now is he helps other companies. His goal every year is to help 10 or 100, is it 10 people get to $100,000 their first year. You can do it, but you've got to be relentless. You've got to do the things that suck, and you've got to keep pushing. You can't just try a little bit and expect things to happen. You My father-in-law owns a business as well, has had a business for the past 40 years. His biggest piece of advice to me was, if you're going to do a business, you put everything into it or you put nothing in it. If you don't put anything into your business, you're not going to get anything out of your business. So eat, sleep, breathe your business and things will come. But be patient and trust the process. You can't fast track anything. If you're going to fail fast so you know what not to do again.
Yeah.
Learn from your mistakes. Have a lesson learned. I've got plenty of those. I
Yeah.
still have lessons learned, but keep pushing. You'll make it, man. You'll be fine.
Absolutely. And thank you much. Thank you so much, David, for being here. Thanks for all your golden nuggets of information, man. I definitely want you to keep, doing great things for the community. You're doing awesome, man. And yeah, we'll chat soon, man. And thank you so much for your time.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, man. It was a blast.
All right, man. Have a good one.